On this video, we're going to react and attempt to understand why the Glazers are reportedly holding out for a figure close to $10 billion for the sale of Manchester United. Before we do that, please do smash a like on the video and please do subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the first reason is because of the sale of the Washington Commanders, who sold for $6.1 billion earlier this year. Obviously, the Glazers believe that Manchester United's value as a club is far greater than this. To this point, the Washington Commanders was the biggest sports franchise sale, this taking place in 2023 for $6.1 billion. The figures being tabled at the moment for Manchester United are around the £5 billion mark, which is approximately $5.5 to $6 billion. And from what we're hearing, Manchester United, the Glazers believe that Manchester United is worth a far greater figure than what the Washington Commanders went for. Moving on to the next theory is because of the new TV rights deals which will come into play in the next few years. There is, of course, the potential of this Netflix-style subscription where each individual club can have their own monthly subscription service. They already do this in America where you can pay to have just the Arsenal games. You can pay just to have the Manchester United games. At the moment, you pay £30 for Sky Sports a month, £30 for BT Sports a month. You know, you're paying £60 to £100 sometimes if you've got Amazon Prime and all the rest of it to try and get all of the football matches. And half of those games aren't even televised. They are saying that, in the next however many years, something like this could be introduced into the UK. So just as an example, it could be some sort of subscription where you pay £20 a month and you get access to all of the different games, all of the different Manchester United games or Arsenal games or whichever club you support. And you have almost an app where it's all of the Manchester United games in one place and you can watch all of them. Now, if you look at this even on a really small level, £20 a month, which is, about what the subscriptions are for Netflix, Amazon Prime and all of those things these days, right? So £20 a month. Say 100 million people worldwide signed up to this subscription per month. That would bring in £200 million per month, just alone on this TV rights thing, right? Or 2.4 billion per year. Now, Manchester United's current turnover is around 6 to 700 million. So if you just look at that example, even if it was half of that, even if it was a quarter of that, the money would be absolutely astronomical. Now, I know people say, the Premier League gets a lot of money from Sky Sports, BT Sports and all the rest of it. But if the clubs had their own individual platforms, they would make so much more money. Obviously, they could sell advertisement on it. They could do all sorts of things. They could monetize it however they want. There's even talk of there being head cams, cameras on people's shirts, so you could pay like a little bit extra to have, to see it through the eyes of Bruno Fernandes's shirt, like all of these crazy things that have yet to happen, which we can imagine happening in the next 5 to 10 years. And I'm sure that the Glazers advisors will be telling them these sorts of things, that these things have yet to be done. There's these things that we can monetize in the next few years. And that's, of course, a reason that I've identified why I think they're holding out for such a large amount of money. The next one is the emergence of Saudi Arabia in football. Obviously, the amount of money that Saudi Arabian clubs have spent over the last 12 months, is absolutely eye-opening, isn't it? It really, really is. They've spent so much money. They've got some of the best players in world football moving over there. You think the Ronaldos, you think Benzema's, etc. Even people like N'Golo Kante. There's even younger profile players going over there. There was a player who was going to move to Manchester City, but he chose to go to Saudi Arabia from La Liga. The emergence of this Saudi Arabian money is definitely going to be something which is, open the eyeballs of the Glazers, because they think there's an opportunity here. There's an opportunity to be had. There's no financial fair play in Saudi Arabia at the moment because they're not in the Champions League or in the Europa League. They're not been introduced to European competition. So at the moment, the Saudi clubs have an open checkbook. Yes, I know this summer we didn't really capitalize on it, but when you saw Chelsea, they got rid of most of their players that they didn't want, didn't they, to Saudi Arabia, the Koulibalis, amongst others. So I think that that's definitely another reason which is making it's making their eyes open a little bit, and they're thinking, maybe there's a bit more money to be had here. Maybe we can milk a little bit more from this cow. And then the final reason that I've identified is because of the new Club World Cup. So if anybody's unaware of this, from 2025, there will be a new FIFA Club World Cup that takes place. They already do the FIFA Club World Cup at the moment, but it's a much smaller, scaled back edition. So there's the editions in December every year. This year it's in Saudi Arabia. So from 2025, the tournament will adopt a 32-team format and will take place every 4 years with host countries to be announced. It says the key principles approved by FIFA Council for 32-team Club World Cup. New tournament format will mean it takes place every 4 years after the next edition in Saudi Arabia. Now, this is going to bring a lot more money into clubs. If you're competing in this competition, there'll be 12 clubs from the Champions League, 6 clubs from Copa Libertadores, 4 clubs from Saudi Arabia, etc., etc. So there's going to be 12 clubs that are in the Champions League competitions that now qualify for this new FIFA Club World Cup, which is ultimately, I don't want to say it's like a Super League, but it is kind of FIFA's idea of a Super League, you know, that happens every 4 years. They bring all these clubs together from lots of different countries. I mean, it sounds quite cool, doesn't it? Because it's people from South America, people from Saudi Arabia, you know, all of these different clubs from different areas of the world, which wouldn't usually meet each other. And this will bring so much more money into the game. Apparently, one of the host countries is going to be USA as well, which obviously is another thing for the Glazers, obviously being a USA-based company. And I think this is another thing that they're looking at, because this is still something very, very new. We don't know the kind of money that's going to be involved in this, but if you think about the money that's involved in the Champions League, my guess is that this FIFA Club World Cup will be just as profitable as the Champions League. Maybe not in the first year, but as it grows, as it builds, you know, it's going to be a massive, massive thing. And that's definitely something which is, you know, perking their eyeballs. The only thing I will say about that, though, is obviously we've got to be successful to be entering those types of competitions. So if they think we're just going to naturally qualify for this Club World Cup, I wouldn't be sure about that, because at the moment, you know, are we going to qualify for the Champions League next season? I would like to hope so, but there's no guarantee in football anymore, especially in the Premier League. So it's all good and well them saying, oh, the FIFA Club World Cup's coming. That might mean the club's worth more money. That's why we're valuing it so high. But there's lots of different, you know, criteria that need to be met. You actually have to perform well to reach these kinds of competitions and to profit from them. But yeah, those are the 4 things that I think are the Glazers. I've tried to, obviously, in this video, break down their thinking. I've tried to think inside the Glazers' head. Obviously, none of this is from a footballing perspective. They don't care about the football team. They don't care about the players. They don't care about the manager. They just care about money. So all of the things we've discussed on this video today are purely focused on money, and they're all of the areas that I've highlighted, which I think why the Glazers are holding out for more money than what they're being offered at the moment. Because how on earth can they, at this moment in time, think that the club's ever going to be worth close to $10 billion when you see the state we're in right now? The club's valued at about £3.5 billion at the moment, right? And they've got offers of $5 billion plus, and they're still not accepting it. So there's got to be some thinking going on behind their heads. Obviously, there's the talk of different Glazer families disagreeing on different decisions and all the rest of it. But I think that these are the main things that their advisors will be telling them, and telling them that there's all this potential for growth in the next however many years, especially with that new TV rights deal. I think that's the big one. If this subscription style service thing happens, that's ridiculous amounts of money that would be brought into any football club. Obviously, there is always the question mark of, does it create an unlevel playing field? Because a Manchester United would literally get probably hundreds of millions of people paying this subscription, whereas how many people who support Bournemouth are going to subscribe to watch just Bournemouth games? Probably a very, very small amount. So maybe it does create an unlevel playing field. But as I said, this already happens in America. It happens in other countries. So it's not something that hasn't been done before. It's just whether the Premier League will adopt it, and it's something we have to keep an eye on. But as always, do let me know your thoughts in the comment section. If you think I've missed any other reasons why the Glazers are holding out for so much money, please let me know your thoughts. I've tried to bring this video together to just give a detailed analysis of what I think is going on with the situation. But obviously, this is all just my opinions. This is what I think in my head and from my research. So do let me know your thoughts. Please do smash a like on the video and subscribe on your way out. And thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all later.